have a little surprise happening today, and we have Fiona Lucas and Lisa Monks joining us. Now, definitely Fiona's joining us in about 10 minutes, and she probably will only be with us for about 15 minutes. And Lisa, if she can, at the end of their Clubhouse, will also be joining. So they are amazing digital marketers. I met Fiona at Social Media Marketing World last year, and she met Lisa at another Social Media Marketing World. That's how this all connection went. But they are the ones that invited me into Clubhouse in the first place, and they've been running these rooms called Clubhouse for Newbies, and they even have a Facebook group called Clubhouse for Newbies. So I've been in on that room a lot of times, and what I've invited them in today for is to talk about business with Clubhouse. But what you should know is that right now, they have a Clubhouse room going on that they have every single Monday for Clubhouse for Newbies. And that's why they're just going to jump in and out as they can. So what I'll do now is I'll get started into it with the presentation, and then we'll just pause it when we have Fiona join us, and we'll hear from her for a little while. And then when she needs to leave, I'll come back to my presentation. And I will, if you guys need to leave, at 3:45, then totally go ahead, because we'll be putting this on YouTube. But I'm just saying it might go a little bit over so that we can get through all the bits, because there's a little bit on the, what Clubhouse is, why you need to be there and all that kind of thing. But then there's, we move into what it's all about for business, etc. So first question though, before I share my screen, is who is on Clubhouse? Yes. Who wants to be on Clubhouse? Who is not really very sure? Joe, have you got an iOS device? No. Yes. iPhone, iPad? Oh, so I've got 3 invites right now. So if you want in, you're in. All I need is you just need to download the Clubhouse app and send me a PM with your phone number, because it all comes through a text message. So I can get you in. That's one. Then I've got 2 left, guys. Who would like an invite and has either an iPhone or an iPad? Great, Joanna, send me a PM with your mobile number, and I'll do that straight at the end. Hi, Laura, how are you? Nice to see you. Do you want to also send me a PM with my with your mobile number? And there you go, first 3. And the good news is, guys, these invites keep coming. So as I do more and more in Clubhouse, I get sent more invites.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry, Kylie. Excuse my ignorance, but can you give me 2 sentences about what Clubhouse is, please?
I'm about to give you an hour. Clubhouse is. So, yes, I will definitely explain that in a great deal. And can I just say how funny it is to see myself behind your head?
I know, isn't it great? It's so funny. It's like, I don't know, it depends on the lighting, but anyway.
That's classic.
You're on the big screen, baby.
That's so great. Charles, do you have an iOS device?
What does it have?
Either an iPad or an iPhone.
I'm about to invest. I'm about to change after PCs for 25 years. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like,
well, you don't have to, because it will be coming to Android soon enough.
Okay.
But it's not there yet. But, obviously being an Apple user, I'd go, yeah, of course. Go down that road.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we're going to get stuck in. For those... Yes.
Can you show us which one it is, what the thing looks like?
Yeah, and it's surprising, because it's actually the one with the man with the cap on. It's not what you would expect.
Oh, like the grey and white one? Oh, you can't really see that, can you?
Yeah,
the grey and white one. Clubhouse. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and you'll see a bit more of that as we go through. So for those of you that are
downloaded some other thing, oops.
Weirdly, I just muted myself by mistake. For those of you that are late, I've got a big presentation to go through. So we'll look at the basics of Clubhouse, then we'll look at why Clubhouse is so great for business. But we're very lucky to have a guest presenter join us today for around about 15 minutes. But she's actually on Clubhouse right now because she does a half hour, or maybe it's an hour every Monday afternoon for Clubhouse for newbies. So she's just going to pop in and out. So as soon as she does, I'll stop the presentation, chat with her, ask her a few questions, and then we'll get back to the presentation as soon as she's been in or out. So Merlin or Honey, if you can shout out to me in some way to let me know as soon as she's arrived, that'd be awesome, because you'll be letting her in. And in the meantime, I'm going to share my screen right now, and let's get stuck into it. So, and also remember, if you do want an invite to Clubhouse, all I need is your mobile number. And so send that to me via private message and I can organize that. The three that Honey just needs me to make her a panelist. The three that I had have just been taken as of just now. So get on the waiting list, because the invites keep coming and I will keep sharing as much as I can. So let's get stuck in, and I'll share my screen right now. Can you all see Beginner's Guide to Clubhouse for Business? Yes, I see Charles nodding his head. Very good. So let me just down the bottom here, click on large, and off we go. So as you know, every Monday afternoon, I present a webinar on a topic to do with digital marketing. And today it's all about Clubhouse for Business. So if you have ideas for topics you'd like me to talk about, then or present on, then please let me know in the chat. We have literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of topics, and but we always would love to know what you guys would like to hear more about, so we can do that. So excuse me. So remember that opportunities for you are abundant. If you invest your time now and grow your brand, there has never been a better time to tell the world what you do. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Kylie and I build brands. I help entrepreneurs and businesses get visible online so that they can attract their customers to them instead of going out and chasing them. And I work with you to simplify your digital marketing. Now, I'm sure some of you are like, digital marketing, what even is digital marketing? Well, what it is, it's the way that you are seen online, where you are visible, basically. So for example, if I was Googling your business, I would find you. If I was looking you up on Facebook, if I was wanting to subscribe to your email list, etc., all of those ways are part of digital marketing. That's how you're getting seen online. And the way that I work with people is through one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and masterclasses and workshops. So I'm basically a speaker, coach, mentor, writer, designer, educator, presenter, content creator, branding specialist, and it all comes under the topic of business coach, specializing in digital marketing. So yeah, I also run a meetup group, which the February event happens to be on tonight. It's called Positive Passionate Business Women. And anybody that would like to know more about that, send me a private message on Facebook or put it in the chat, and we can get in touch with you and give you some links so that you can find out more about what it's all about. And every month we have a speaker who talks on various, or we have speakers that talk on various topics, etc. And it's a lovely way to connect with other women in business. All right, moving right along, here we go. So what is Clubhouse? Here you go, Charles. In less than 2 minutes, it's a new buzzword. It's all over the show at the moment, and it's basically a new social media platform called Clubhouse. But it is completely different than any other social platform that's ever been before, and that is that it is all real time. So there's nothing recorded. There's nothing written. I was just listening to something just before I came on here, and I went to write, and I was like, of course I can't write. Why have I not clicked up? You know, why is it not coming to me yet? So you cannot respond to someone. You cannot say, yes, that's awesome, or actually, I totally disagree with that. There is no way of anything going on like that at all. So it's real-time chat. You can share stories, but verbally. You can collaborate verbally, and you can bounce ideas off each other using only your voice. And it takes the media feel out of social media and leaves us with what we've always always loved and missed about social media, which is the social aspect. So Clubhouse at the moment is only for iOS devices, which means if you have an iPad or you have an iPhone, then you can be on it. So I have found that a number of Android users actually do have an iPad. So that's a good way that they can get on without actually having an iPhone. That said, there are rumors that maybe by the end of March, it will be opening up to Android users. But the reason that it's only a limited number of people at the moment is because they're still in their beta festing. They're still in their beta testing phase. And so they are, you know, there's a lot of glitches going on. There's a lot of things happening. So rather than just having, I don't know, 1 billion people or something in there, it's a really slow one. So interestingly enough, though, there's already 1 million people on it, using it. So it's been really, really fast. Started last March, but it's only been since around about December that so many people have been finding out and wanting to get on there. Now, the interesting thing is you can't just decide just because you have an iOS device that you're going to jump onto Clubhouse. So what you can do, though, is you can head to the Clubhouse website. You'll find an option to download the app and you can reserve your username. So it's actually joinclubhouse.com. And or you can just, of course, go to the App Store and download the Clubhouse app. And you'll see up here, it has this man wearing a cap. Last week, it was a different man. So don't take my word for it that it's always going to be this man, but there's certainly no logo or anything at this point. Because it is invite only, though, it means there's some serious FOMO going on. I had serious FOMO when I was desperate to be joining it. So you just need to put it out there, say, I really, really want an invite, etc., and it will come to you, which is awesome. Fiona, who's joining us briefly today, she is the one that invited me, and I'm sure it's because she saw me saying many times, who's got an invite, who's got an, it's like not being invited to a party that you desperately want to be going to. So yeah, if you have a bit of FOMO and you want in, just let me know, because as soon as those invites become available, I will share more and more and more of them. So moving along, in a world of algorithms and hashtags and followers, know the true importance of human connection. Now, this is an amazing thing about Clubhouse, is because it doesn't matter all those other kind of things. What matters is what people are hearing from you, what you're saying, what you're sharing, what you're offering, etc. It's an incredibly authentic way of connecting and communicating. So let's look at why you should use Clubhouse if you're a business owner or a marketer. So you can connect and engage with professionals outside of your industry or niche. And also, I should mention there, it's also outside of your own area and your own country. It's pretty phenomenal. Spontaneous and scheduled rooms are filled with real-time chats on a variety of topics. The focus is on high-value conversations rather than produced content. Clubhouse is finally bringing into social media the factor that other platforms largely ignore, which is audio. And it's no surprise at all, is it, that Clubhouse, Facebook, are in the planning stages of creating their very own version of Clubhouse. And I see that Fiona has just joined us in the room. So I'm going to click on Stop Share and say welcome to Fiona Lucas, who is well, many things, but also a digital marketer also. But what I was saying to everybody before you arrived, Fiona, is that you firstly are the person that invited me into Clubhouse, but secondly, that it's amazing that as soon as it was out there, you just jumped on board, learned everything that you possibly could about it, and then incredibly generously, you have been offering up your time. It seems like daily, but it could be less than that, I'm not sure, but we'll hear from you in a moment. But so that you're actually able to be teaching people that join Clubhouse what to do, how to navigate around and all those kind of things, because it is incredibly overwhelming when you get in of where do I even go with this? So welcome to Fiona Lucas. I'd just love for you to be able to introduce yourself, and then we'll just talk a little bit. I know you've only got a few moments, so we just would talk a little bit, if you're happy to, about why Clubhouse is particularly good for business owners and for marketers.
Yeah, sure, not a problem. Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, I've had to leave Lisa. Lisa Monks and I alternate these. We do them 6 days a week, but we alternate day and night. So Lisa's doing one right now. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. Melbourne time, I'll be doing one, which is 8 p.m. Queensland time. I'm really loving Charles's background there. That's pretty cool. Got the video background going. It's like, hang on, is that my good angle? But yeah, very cool. So look, we did jump into Clubhouse. I got in a little bit earlier, and I was a bit lost, to be honest. At the start, I really wasn't sure what I was doing. It took me about 2 weeks to really love it. I brought Lisa into it probably 3 or 4 days in. And then she was sort of walking around it as well. And then we were talking, and she sort of said, look, what about, we need to help people out here. And I said, sure. And so we put our heads together, and she came up with Clubhouse for Newbies, which is the absolute perfect name. And so that was it. We've just started that. She's got a Facebook group now that's open as well. And so we're just helping people navigate. So initially it's just about the navigation. That particular thing is an intro. But when it comes to business, look, how long's your arm? Because you're talking about the most opportunity that you could ever possibly have. That, where in the world could you walk in normally to a room and, possibly have Elon Musk or, Mark Zuckerberg or someone like that in the room where you haven't paid thousands of dollars to be there? And that can happen. Mind you, those rooms, you'll never get to speak in them, mind you. They block out, and they have overflow rooms because it goes crazy. However, they're there. And also you get people like Grant Cardone. It's not everyone's favorite person, he's not everyone's style, but man, he can drop some amazing knowledge bombs. So you've got these really big names in there that you can absorb, and then you've got this beautiful ability to create serendipitous moments where you're going into smaller groups, smaller rooms, or creating rooms around a topic which attract like-minded people into that topic. So you can imagine the conversations that go, and it just starts to really build up. Now, you go in as yourself. You're not your brand. You don't go in, if you're a social media manager, you don't go in there going, oh, I'm representing my client. That's not going to work. They need to be themselves. There are some things coming up around monetization that the owners are looking at. And so I think brands might be able to come more into a club room, because you actually can apply to have a club room. They've slowed those down a little bit, and they're a bit mishmash how they get offered, because Lisa and I've been waiting a very long time. We've had people join since and been on a week and not even run a room, and you're supposed to have run regular rooms before you get one, and they get a club. So we're like, oh, a bit of FOMO going on there, but that's okay. The benefit of having a club, of course, is that you can run your rooms through that, and then while you're gathering a membership, you're gathering a community around that topic who will always know when you open a room, and you can let them open rooms too. But I think the number one thing you'll get first is the ability to build your personal brand. Would you agree with that, Kylie? That, it's so much focus on you and your bio. It's so important what you say in your bio, that, if you are trying to build your presence in any way, shape or form, Clubhouse is the place to do it, right?
I have a question. So does that mean that, so when you go, I haven't seen this program, right? But if you go into the Clubhouse platform, do you choose a room and then you can say, my name's Charles Coulter and off I go, or do you follow a subject, or how? I'm not clear, because I guess I haven't seen the. Can you do a share screen of what it looks like or something maybe?
Well, you're not allowed to record the app, and they give you a really nasty thing. I haven't got any screenshots. I don't think that I could actually bring up right now.
I have a lot of them in the presentation.
Okay.
So you'll see them. Yeah, you'll see them then. But, basically, yes, in a small room. So, for example, if we were in a room, instead of us seeing each other, we could just hear each other. Okay. We can tap on our little image, and it brings up the first 3 lines, like a preview of our bio. So those first 3 lines are the bit to rock, because I'll and you're probably going to cover that, Kylie, anyway. So I won't go over that too much, but people then get an idea of who you are. They can then open up and read more about you, right? And you can sit in the room and don't say anything. And you can't speak until you're invited to speak or brought up to the stage, unless you're running the room. So therefore you wait until you're listening and you might go, oh, I've got something I really want to say. If it's a small room, you put your hand up, press a little button, and they'll bring you into the room. I don't know if you've seen Twitter Spaces. That's sort of similar to I was in one of those this morning. So the audio's coming. Facebook are onto it. That's why Mark came into the room the other day last week. I think he was just sussing it out and going, okay, people like this. Facebook better revamp their old audio, because they did have an audio app at one point. I think the other thing is the conversations that just lead to offers and business. Now, you can't message in the app at this stage, so you must connect your Twitter or your Instagram. I find Instagram is where most people will DM me. And so I'm speaking at a online conference in Clubhouse next week. That offer came through joining, which is actually in mental health in social media space, which is a thing that I love. So they're having a mental health, that's in the UK. So, these opportunities come. If you jump onto my Facebook, I Respect Online, I am helping promote EK Emmanuel Kelly, who was he was a guy who won and we were just having conversation, and he was singing in a room, and I just shared a bit out, and then he contacted me, and we've had a lovely talk. He's a lovely guy. He was the guy that was found. He was on X Factor about 2012, I think. He was found as a baby, dumped in a mining, what do you call it, a bombing zone, and he has well, he calls it. He doesn't call it a disability, but he's got a different way. Differently abled is what he likes to say. But his limbs were not properly formed. So he was adopted by Australian lady, the same lady that adopted the conjoined twins. And he's had a lot of surgeries here, but he has a lovely voice. So he put out a song called Red Love, and he wants to be the first differently abled person to ever hit Billboard charts, and to do that by Wednesday he needs 1 million downloads, and he's in the something 100,000s. But if you want to grab on there, the song's free. Chuck it on your Spotify. Just do something, just share it out there. And let's say we're using the what is the hashtag we're using? We are using hang on, I'll have to tell you what we're using in a minute, because I've just blanked it, which I should not do, but because I'm in Clubhouse mode, so I'll come back to that for you. But anyway, I won't take too long, because I know I said I can only have like a few minutes here, and I can talk the arm off a donkey, as you'll probably soon work out. It's because we get excited about all these things that we can talk about, right? So, okay, let me see. There's some of the opportunities. So apart from those sort of serendipitous moments, and they happen all the time. I was in an Australian group. If you're Australian, you join the Vegemite Club, right? Because they let you run a room. They let you run a room off there. And Amanda that runs that, it brings everybody in. She's very welcoming. She'll try to jump into a room when she sees it on. And last night they were just having a talk, and I think that was, do you prefer Clubhouse to Valentine's Day was the topic, right? But you answered that, and then they asked you about your business. And then as we went around the room, I was able to connect 2 people with people they were wanting to connect with. And then I started talking, the guy was talking about education, and we had a whole lot of, stuff that really resonated together. So now we're catching up, and it's full of these serendipitous moments. It's kind of like you've gone to a really great conference and you break out into a room and you're all fired up and you start chatting to the people near you, kind of thing. And it all starts happening. So that's what we always say, is look around you when you're in a room at who's sitting beside you, because it's who you follow there, not who follows you. So, getting back to business, because I better do that. So apart from picking up work just from what people are talking about, I put a couple of notes to remind, because I'm actually starting to write a blog post about it. So it's about this long, this many dots. So I won't do all of them. Obviously, the opportunities to speak are huge there as well. You can do a product launch. You could start having a branded sponsored rooms, we think, coming up, but you could do that on the side. people are getting paid as moderators. There are some people that they moderate a great room, they're complete MC, they'll have music, rapping, everything going on. And they're I'm not sure what sort of what they're charging for that, but that is certainly growing. There's sort of like a core group of people that can do that. So I just have to keep glancing at the app because Lisa is in there, and sometimes because it's still in beta, something happens and I have to just make sure she doesn't get thrown out of the room, because if she did, I'd have to just jump in there and let them know that get her back in again.
It's a very good top tip, isn't it? Is that you must always not just be the only speaker. You need to have a moderator so that in case that happens, that the room hasn't just disappeared.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, some people don't. They think, oh, and they're using that moderator badge as kind of some sort of look at me, I'm the speaker, but you're the speaker when you're up there anyway. And everyone knows the person who opens a room will always have this little icon anyway. But yeah, I'm really big on saying, don't think that moderator badge, like you'll see rooms where 91 people have got a moderator badge on, or 90 something, you know, it's just ridiculous because they all have the same power. But I'm not going to, I don't want to cut your grass because you've got your presentation to go through. So what are some of the other things?
Fiona, I have a question. How big is your room, just out of curiosity?
Oh, no, well, our room, it varies. Okay. Like right now we've got, 4, 8, 12. There's about 30 people doing Clubhouse for Newbies now. This time of day, I think we get this time of day we get Americans, but some of them at dinner. So we don't get as many. And the 9 o'clock one we do at night gets a UK audience because they're up in the morning. So that's why we tried to make sure we could get both Australian and kind of find times that fitted internationally as well.
It's so extraordinary internationally, isn't it? The opportunities. Like I just have been blown away. And I heard somebody say something in a room this morning, and I think you're in the same room actually, or actually not this morning, just a little bit earlier, when they said, if you can't afford a mastermind and, you know, all those tens of thousands of dollars to be in a mastermind with the gurus that you want to, you know, be following and learning from, etc. And he said, literally, all you got to do is be on Clubhouse. And you'll learn all the things that we're going to share. It is amazing the value that is being offered.
And there are going to be some phenomenal new jobs come out of it. Like if you're one of those clever people that can do the notes that you do with the graphics, you know, people do those beautiful, I forgot what you call it, when they do like a graphical representation of the notes, and they make these beautiful notepads in who does it? Joe Saunders used to do it, and somebody else. But they instead of like just writing down a whole lot of notes, they're able to really quickly draw pictures that connect thoughts and things like that.
Yes, right. I know what you mean.
You could do that. Can you imagine being paid to be in the Clubhouse room to produce that? And you could pay someone to do that then becomes your part of your funnel down the line, your giveaway, the notes from your club. So there's that. Paid club memberships, they have a tipping thing. We don't have the ability, we're not allowed that in Australia yet. We don't have that kind of the same app that they're using, but some places do that. Some of them, they'll put this tipping thing in their bio, and you'll see it's a big on, the Americans will do that. If they love what you're saying, they throw tips your way. So that's another thing. So
amazing.
Paid clubs would be another way. You could do lots of things like having a recap around your blog. People don't really like selling, but down the line in your club, if it's relevant to something you've done, obviously you could start bringing in some of your, your funnel and do a little bit of a sell. Some of the American are full on selling from the stage. I don't really like that. With the recording, you can record, but it's being tested. And sorry, I'm just glancing again because there was a little flash on my phone over there. I thought, so what you can do is if you record, you have to clearly state it in the room that you'll be recording, and you can't bring audience up because you have to have written permission for everyone on stage. But in that case, if you did that, you could obviously record that, and then you can turn that into a podcast. The other thing it's great for is that people are doing, for example, they've done LinkedIn events. So while they're live on Clubhouse, they have an open transcript so other people can type their questions. And that's another great way of things working out. You can put lead gen in your bio, put a LinkedIn tree in your bio. I've got a million things here. I'm going through every fourth one, actually, just to give you the idea. Oh, and of course you can always do the offer. If you've loved everything you've heard, there's a low cost subscription to become a member of my club, or blah blah blah, those sort of things as well.
I think that seems like a much nicer and a softer sell. So you've started a room, you've had people in, they've loved what you're doing, and then you do an offer at the end.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Not quite then, it's in your face.
Lisa and I aren't doing anything like that. I mean, our kickback from it probably is that our profile's growing. In fact, hers is really growing really fast. Got a little FOMO there. She'll go, I knew you cared. No, when she watches the replay.
How funny.
No, actually, kudos to her. I mean, I hit like 3,000 and something yesterday, but I think she's really at 4. So,
well, we will be sure to share all the details of how everyone can get in touch with you. Not only on Clubhouse, but on all your social channels, and we'll put that in the caption when we post this and up on YouTube, etc. And I just want everybody to know I've been so inspired by what Fiona has been doing with Lisa, and just honestly, the generosity is just mind-blowing. It's been fantastic. So your constant sharing, and of course you're joining me here in the way you did on Friday in the other webinar, but your constant sharing with anybody and everybody is amazing.
Oh, look, I come from a we're here to serve attitude. I work in a lot of online communities, and I think, it's just, that's what you're there for. I mean, if we can give knowledge and we can help somebody else, it makes the world a nicer place for a start, doesn't it? And I actually think that's what Clubhouse has really brought in after all this lockdown. I mean, I'm in lockdown again now because I'm in Victoria. All out of all this stress that people have had, to hear the voice and then be finding people that, I mean, obviously you can find rooms where there's probably more controversial, topics going on. But for the most part, I certainly haven't found that. And if you're selective about who you follow and you keep it in that like-minded thing, then you're going to build this beautiful community around you that you can share your ideas and grow off each other. So, I'm pretty much in love with it. You can tell.
That is such a beautiful thing to say, that and I totally agree with you. I've seen nothing that's been unpleasant. I'm obviously not in rooms where that sort of stuff's going on, but it's just been such an amazing, beautiful experience. I cannot think of a negative thing about it. I'll just tell you one thing that happened the other day. I was with a client on Zoom and she was asking about it. So I plugged in my phone to Zoom so that I could show her, opened up Clubhouse, went into a room, and straight away, and I know that you can't record it and all of that.
You got the banner.
Yeah, I did. But I was like, it's not like I'm actually getting her to listen. I'm just doing a quick show. But whoa, that was big trouble, and I just bolted fast.
Doesn't it scare you? You're like, is that a mark on my name somewhere? Do they have a little black cross that says, oh, they tried? And I did something similar. I actually, when I was brand new, I was listening on my device, and then I bought it up because I was recording another app for a client, and I totally didn't even think. But suddenly I saw this banner flashed up on my, and I went, oh. In behind, they think I'm recording, and I'm just listening. I'm recording over the top, but not them. But definitely you have to watch that. I've had one troll, and Lisa and I had 3 jump in a room the other day. But it's really easy. You just can tap on them and throw them out of the room. You can report them. It's not hard to do. So So I'm just
asking again. So did they ask to speak? Yeah. Sorry. So did they ask to speak, and then they're speaking, and then they're saying an appropriate thing. So you just go boom. Off you go. Yeah,
I had one. Well, I'm very inclusive, and I'm going to assume that you've got a nice attitude and you're respectful. So I brought up. I'm now a bit more mindful. So I always say don't have a blank bio. Just even if you haven't decided what you want to say in there, just put something in those 3 lines that people can immediately relate to, because a lot of these guys that don't have much in their bio or anything. And the one I brought up just immediately started abusing me. Like, it was crazy. I mean, I threw him out in seconds, but
wow.
It was just, that was a bit of a shock. And the ones we got the other day were just being like yobbos, they knew one of the guys on stage, and they all opened their mics and were all screaming at the one time. And, I was asking them respectfully to turn their mics off, and they weren't. So it was like, I just told them off. I just said, right, you're out. We don't play that game. So, yeah.
Good on you. That's definitely a very interesting point, is that who you invite in, you are then responsible for. And so be very aware of sending out those willy-nilly invitations to anybody. So, the people that, and so you as the person that's been invited in needs to be very respectful of what you're doing in there, so that you're not causing any concern to the person that's invited you. Well, look, thank you so much.
Have to go, yes.
Yes, I'm so grateful for you being here. It was wonderful. And I'll move on with the presentation, and I hope everybody then will come and follow you, and I'll share all your details.
Lovely
So
to meet you all. Thanks
again.
so much. Thanks for having me. And if Lisa gets a chance, she'll try, but she will probably be, it's a pretty full room, so I don't think.
Yes, no, of course. You go and enjoy your Clubhouse room. These guys will be in it soon enough.
See ya.
All right. Thanks, Fiona. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, guys, I'm going to go back to my share screen, because a number of the things that she was talking about, you will see in this presentation. But please, if you've got any questions along the way, just ask, and I will be very, very happy to share. Oh, who can see? Are we on? Can you guys see the right screen? Because I can't. Hang on a second. Let me go share again to this. Can you guys see audio, that page?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So yes, as you know, it's very much all about audio. And as Fiona just said earlier, that Facebook used to have a version sort of similar, but not really similar at all, that was audio based. So it was interesting when Mark Zuckerberg jumped in the other day. Everybody was very excited that he was there. And of course, it was only a matter of moments before he announced, once he was back out again, that they're doing their own version very soon, which I guess probably is just a rejig of what they've got. So that'll be super interesting to see. And I don't know this for an absolute 100% fact, but the rumors that I've heard is that when Elon Musk also joined, the Bitcoin, the whole thing to do with Tesla, everything just blew up. So because he was on there, it just went crazy and very exciting for him. So
I have a question, Kylie. So
sure.
just to get my head around the app, right? So it's all audio. So the only visual thing is something like this Zoom screen where you have a picture of all people's profiles.
No, I'll show you some screenshots in a moment, but if I can explain it in one way, it's that when I go to Social Media Marketing World, it's this giant conference, right? There's like 7,000 different digital marketers there, all in one place. Now we have around about 300 or 400 different rooms that we can go to. So of course, everybody in the morning will go to the big keynote presenter. And then after that, off you go into all these different places. So kind of presentations, but that are smaller. Then there's also kind of workshop versions of it. Then you can go to like these huge, big sort of cafeteria areas where you can sit at these big round tables, and each table has a topic on it. So you can sit there and you can just join or leave whenever you want and talk with whoever is at that table about those topics. Of course, you can also go and sit with someone and have a coffee. Like I met some amazing, amazing people just from sitting next to them in the rooms that I went into. And also there's, they have this amazing app. So you can be connecting up about a month before you even go over to the conference with different people. So we started a group for women that run networking groups. So we all hooked up and did a big dinner, and they're from all over the world. So now that I've told you all about that conference, imagine that, but in one app, which is literally like the big keynote presenter rooms, the smaller workshop rooms, the tiny little let's just have a coffee with someone room because you've just met them there. Like that's, to me, the best description I could possibly give, is it's literally like being at a conference that you've just spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on, but it's right there on your phone. Okay. So it's unbelievably extraordinary. And I did notice in the chat that Steve said that he had a couple of invites. So for those of you that hadn't already been one of my 3 from the beginning of today, then send a message to Steve, and what you need to do is get him your phone number. So other platforms focus on visual and written media, such as captions and images and videos, etc. But Clubhouse has shifted the focus, and it's the audio only platform. So what can you do with it? Community building for coaches and trainers, community building for virtual events, curating content for content creators, collaboration for projects and networks, podcast communities, networking with experts in other industries, of course, a million other things as well. But my favorite for me personally at the moment is learning and listening. I'm absolutely loving what I'm learning. It's blown my mind. And what I learned very quickly on was have a notebook that I have labeled Clubhouse, and I've got it sitting in there, and I just write notes furiously beside, because I'm hearing something amazing things. So when I'm not on Zoom with a client or with, teaching something or whatever, then I'll just have Clubhouse going in the background. Whereas I used to have a podcast a lot of the time, but now I've got Clubhouse, and I just will tune in if there's something blowing my mind, and I'll write some little notes, and it's just been absolutely amazing. So for me personally, the learning and the listening has just been incredible. So what you can do is, if you're a coach or a trainer, is invite your community in and open up a new way to engage and connect. You can get up on stage and show your expertise. You can offer value, you can help, you can support and share. And when I say get up on stage, you don't need to have your lipstick on. You don't need to be camera ready, because there are no cameras. It is just your voice, which is pretty incredible. So if you're building community virtual events, Clubhouse offers an intimate, exclusive community in the form of a club that can accompany virtual and even in-person events for attendees to connect and engage with each other. So I just wrote there to remind me to tell you all about Social Media Marketing World, which I just did, because for me, it's exactly like going to that. That said, as you can imagine, I'm mostly listening to marketing and marketing rooms and things. But for you guys, any topic of interest that you want to go into is what you'll find. And you can either become the expert and share your stories and share your expertise, or you can be in there learning and listening. So what about for content creators? Well, recording and transcribing conversations in Clubhouse rooms without every participant's permission is strictly against the platform's term of use. So you can start a new room for the purpose of creating content by informing people in the room's public title and description, and record it. And you can use the room to ask questions, interview other members, grab tidbits and advice on various subjects, and put together articles. So some important things to remember for content creators is that once you start a Clubhouse room, you cannot edit or change the room's title or description. So you can't decide later on to begin recording once the room has started. And when you're setting up your room, make sure you let people know in advance that you're going to record. Also, collaborating for projects and networks, anyone can start a private chat with a connection. It's a great place for private conversations regarding networking or collaboration opportunities. And when a room is closed, nothing is saved. So that makes the entire conversation private and protected, which is pretty extraordinary. The number of times that I've listened to something and thought, crikey, I've just got to go back to that so that I can write that down and make a note. But of course I can't, can I? Because it's been and gone. There's no hit rewind. There's no nothing. If you missed it live, or you missed taking a note on it or something, it is gone forever. So what about for podcast communities? Well, once the app is public, which means when it's beyond just iOS device users only, then you can use Clubhouse Clubs to build communities related to your podcast without having to add a lot of content creation and overhead to keep your community engaged between episodes. So it'll be super interesting to see what happens to very successful podcasters, because already I've been in podcast rooms listening to podcasters say, well, actually, our numbers are way down, and our listeners and our subscribers, everything. And so what we're doing is we're just moving it on to Clubhouse. So it'll all be interesting to see how that evolves. So one really great thing is how you can network with experts in other industries. So the value of networking and learning from experts within our own industries on the app is huge, but the value of learning from other businesses, multi-million-dollar CEOs, tech giants, all the different kinds of people you can ever imagine learning from is the most incredibly unique opportunity. So where else could we hear them speak on stage without spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to go to a conference like Social Media Marketing World, for example, in my industry, or any one of the conferences that would be in your industry? Or like I just mentioned earlier about doing a mastermind that are, $20,000 for access to, things, or 20,000 is probably way less than what it really is. So this is an incredible way to get access to people that you never, ever, ever thought you'd be able to. So how can you join join Clubhouse. Clubhouse is still in a private beta phase. It's available only for iPhone and iPad users at the moment, which is also what is fueling FOMO, which is very amusing. As I said earlier, I had terrible FOMO. I was very desperate to be part of it. And then luckily got an invite, but I know how much and how desperate people are to get in there. So there's only 2 ways that you can get into the platform. And one of them is by personal invitation. And that's what I said earlier when I said I had 3 invites that I've saved up, especially for today. And so that's the personal invitation. The other one is by exclusive side door. So the first one here is the personal invitation. So new members, every time someone joins, you get 1 invite. So, and you need to share your mobile phone number so that you can get the invite on your mobile phone. So Clubhouse members are going to send their invitations to connections rather than acquaintances. Because if you think about it, for example, with Joanna, I said, quickly PM me your phone number. Now that's not just going to happen with any random person, is it? Luckily, I know Joanna, we've worked together before. So I felt very, I knew she would be very confident to hand over her mobile phone number to me. And then I put it in my contacts so that when I click on the spot on Clubhouse that says you have 3 invites, invite someone, what happens is that all of my contacts in my mobile phone come up. So once I put Joanna in there, she'll come up and then she receives via text message an invite from me. Now, if she's already downloaded the app and set up her username, then she's winning. She's off very, very quickly. And then immediately I'll get a notification that she's joined and it says, am I available to welcome her in? Which means basically that we just go into a little room with the 2 of us. And it's a really easy thing to do. So once you're on Clubhouse and you've spent time speaking or moderating rooms and engaging, so that anything can be, I've misspelled pinging. That is not pining people into a room. It's pinging as in P-I-N-G-I-N-G. That's a really tricky word for my accent, isn't it? So the way that you can be engaging with things is like pinging people into a room, welcoming people, etc. Then you earn more invites to send out. So on average, each week, I've been getting anywhere between 3 to 5 invites, which is exciting. So when I say pinging people into a room, if I'm in a room that's super amazing and I'm loving what I'm hearing, and then I suddenly think, oh my goodness, Charles has got to know about this, then I will just send a little ping to Charles and he'll get a notification on his phone that says, Kylie's pinging you, you should come into this room if you can. The problem is I've found is that a number of people have their notifications off and then I'm unable to ping you. So you actually then miss out on a lot of things. So make sure once you're in Clubhouse, you put your notifications on, even just for Clubhouse. And you can go into settings and we'll talk about this another time. But when you go into settings, there's a few really, really, really important things. One of them that I'm going to tell you about right now, and you can just make a little note of it, is that the first thing you need to do is to go into settings and turn off include trending rooms, because that's what made my first day on Clubhouse, my experience, quite unpleasant. So it was trending rooms that were coming up. It's a whole lot of conspiracy theory stuff and everything. And I'm like, oh, there's enough of that on Facebook. So I'm in here to be learning. So I didn't really need all the rest of that stuff. So I turned that off. And then the other thing is that you can say frequency of notifications. You can have it as very frequent, normal, infrequent, very infrequent. I had mine on normal for a while and they were just literally coming to my phone, something crazy. So if you have it down to infrequent, that's a much better way to go, because then you won't be distracted all the time. Okay, so I'll just show you this bit here. So this one says, for example, you have 1 invite. Who's a great potential addition to Clubhouse? And you'll get credit for the invite on their profile. So that's another thing to remember, guys, is that whoever you've invited in, that you then stay on their profile at the bottom as you're the person that has brought them in. So for example, this is a person here, say this is Joe, and it tells me, oh, she really should be on Clubhouse because she's got 122 friends on Clubhouse already. And I've got a mobile number in here, which is why she's turning up here. So I just click on invite and it sends her a text message with a link for her to go through the process. So it's not tricky at all. The second way of getting into Clubhouse is by the exclusive side door. And it's really, really simple. All you need to do is reserve your username. Now, remember that Fiona suggested not using your business name as your username. So people will be searching, and I'll talk about keywords and things in a moment, but yeah, just so for example, Fiona's is social media gal. It is not Fiona Lucas or I Respect Online, which is a business name. So make sure you think about what you want your username to be. And my understanding is at the moment, you can only change it once. So if you want to just set something up for now and then wait and see what happens and change it once, that would be fine. But yeah, key is though, just get in there and get your username ready to go. So then what happens is that the friends of yours that are already using Clubhouse receive a notification letting them know that you've reserved your username and that if you've downloaded the app. And when this happens, they then get the opportunity to wave you through, even if they don't have an official invitation to send. So it's a really good idea to do this. So here's the steps. Number one, go to your browser and type in joinclubhouse.com on your computer, or go to the App Store, of course. Then download the app if you have an iOS device, which means an iPhone or an iPad, and click on this, and then you can get your username, and then you can be waiting for as soon as you get your invite. And again, just send me a private message if you would like an invite, or let me know in the chat of this, because as I said earlier, Steve said he's got a couple of invites, and I will have a few more invites in a matter of days, no doubt. So what are you going to find inside Clubhouse? Like the way I was talking about it before with it being a conference. So you now hopefully you got that in your mind. So now think that you've got your big hallways to wander through. You've got rooms to go into. You've got clubs to join. And then the clubs can be huge, huge, huge rooms. In fact, I was in a club room recently, and it had been going for 5 days. Can you believe it? So they just have different moderators, and people leave being a moderator and other moderators join, and it's quite phenomenal. And the one I was just in earlier had been going for 2.5 hours when I joined it. And there was just so much value, but immediately you're thinking, what did I miss? What did I miss? There's some amazing, amazing speakers here. So, Samita says she has a few invites. If someone needs one, then you can find her there. So what you would need to do for Samita is you would need to send her your mobile phone number. And Julie says, can you join up and get your username if you don't have any Apple device? So the only way that you can do it, Julie, is by downloading that app. So that's the tricky thing at the moment. Yeah, so you might just have to wait till the end of March. If that is the case, that's when they bring it out. But my suggestion to you is be ready. Be thinking about, you can prepare your bio already and all that other kind of stuff that's cool to prepare. So what we have here is Clubhouse's main feed, and this is where you'll find active and ongoing chat rooms. If you've joined any Clubhouse apps or followed any scheduled rooms, some of those will be listed at the top of the hallway. So as soon as I open my app, this is what I see. Obviously, every single time I open it will look different, but this is basically what you're seeing at the beginning. So here's the first room that it's suggesting that I join, which was this one today was called High Performance Success Coaching 100 Ask Anything. And there will have been gazillions and gazillions of people in that, which I'll show you in a moment. It's also telling me coming up at 2 o'clock was this about real estate, 2 p.m. talk club, 2 p.m. swan dive, blah, blah, blah. Lots of different things. This little thing with the envelope here, that tells me that there's new invites waiting, which is very, very exciting. Of course, notifications and that little picture of me is how I get to my bio, which we'll talk about in a little bit more. So what is a room? It's a space where people gather to chat. And a room has 3 areas: the stage, the front row, and the audience. This is where the moderators and speakers are, is the stage, and a circle hovers around the photo of the person speaking. All these people have mics, which should be turned off when they're not talking. So I've kind of muted out their faces for privacy reasons, but this here is a room with and at the top there it says that these are the moderators. Then the second section, which is very exciting, this one down here is, can you see at the top here it says followed by the speakers. So this is where you can feel very proud if you pop up. But what's great is that if you're looking for people to follow that are really fascinating you, then you can, first of all, you can be looking at who the speakers are and go and look at their bios. The next bit is that you can look who the speakers follow. So this is a really cool part to come into. And then the third part is where everyone else is. And you'll see up the top here, it says others in the room. And you'll notice at the bottom there, it says leave quietly. So there's nothing like you need to say, oh, by the way, I'm off now, or anything like that. You literally just press that little button and leave quietly. And yes, Paul, I most definitely can get you an invite. And also this will be put up on our YouTube channel. So I'll share that in the Hello Media Facebook group as soon as it's up and ready to be watched. And you can go back and you can listen to our speaker. And also the other one you might want to rewatch, all of you, is Friday, the webinar on Friday morning with Jenny Walk and I that we usually present together. We had 2 guests in that one, and it was all about Clubhouse as well. So that would be a great one. And that's also on YouTube. So we'll give you the YouTube channel a little bit later on, and we'll also share it in the Hello Media Facebook group. So what is a club? It's like a community. You can invite people to your club, get more followers, host rooms through your club, etc. And currently, Clubhouse asks club founders to commit to hosting at least 1 recurring conversation, although you can also hold as many other conversations as you like that aren't recurring. So this is what a club looks like. And this is like basically the main club, which is the Clubhouse Community Club. See these little emojis? That's how people are writing Clubhouse. So it says, got Clubhouse questions? Check out clubhouseguide.com, for example, and you'll see all the admins and all the club members, etc. And so you can join it and, you know, get involved. As Fiona said earlier, there is the Vegemite Club for all people in Australia or all Australians, and through that you can host rooms, etc., which is really super awesome. So how to request to create a new club. So to request to create a new club, you'll need to host your first 3 recurring meetups and then fill out a form. But as Fiona just said earlier, she's seen people that actually haven't even done a room yet, and they've asked for a club and got it. Yet for Fiona and Lisa, they haven't even got their club and they applied for it ages ago. So interesting to see. You'll notice with a club that you can, you know, there's lots of good things that you can put in there and for people to be able to decide if they want to join that club. So 4 types of memberships within a club. That is the founder, the admin, the members, and the followers. So for me, I'm just a follower of all these different clubs at this point, while I'm just having a little wander around and listening in and all of that kind of stuff. But the most important thing, as far as I'm concerned at this point, is your Clubhouse profile. So I want to talk to you a little bit about how to set that up. So like other social media platforms, Clubhouse allows you to share and optimize, whoops, I've got a little typo there, sorry, optimize your profile so people can learn about you and what you have to offer. Your bio is what you see when you click on your profile picture. The first 3 lines, approximately 125 characters, are available as a preview while you're in rooms on the app. And I would love to be able to show you by plugging in my phone, but as you know, I'm not allowed to do that. So making those the most important words in your bio. So if you look at my top 3 lines, hi, I'm Kylie and I build brands. I help entrepreneurs and businesses get visible online so they attract their customers to them. It doesn't matter that the next sentence, instead of chasing them, isn't showing up, or the rest of it, because if people are intrigued by those first 3 lines, then they can click on view the rest of the profile and they can see everything else that there is to offer. So the Clubhouse editor is a plain text editor, meaning there's no markup, no hyperlinking or formatting. So it's a good idea if you prepare your bio elsewhere, like on the pages or Word or whatever you like, and get it ready and pump it out. Because the cool thing is, in fact, I'm not even sure of what the character limit is, but I'm not even sure like if there is one, because I've seen some phenomenally long profiles. It's not like the frustration with Instagram where it's such a few number of characters and you've got to try everything you can to squish it all in. So it's really cool that you can share a lot of stuff. Obviously, the stuff further up, the better. But one really fascinating thing about your bio here is that all of these are keywords. So it's all about search. So if you were searching for a something to do with passionate businesswomen, if you just type that in, boom, I would come up and show for you. So it's got amazing search capabilities on it. So keep that in mind. So include the following in your bio: a short description, so 30 or so characters, including spaces, of who you are. A longer description then, including who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and why you do it better than anybody else. And include the following in your bio if you can: some personal information. So of course, the what you do, who you are, and what you offer, your website and your email. They're not going to be hyperlinks, but people can still copy them and go and find them. Other social media handles like your Instagram, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, etc. Remember, of course, though, that your Instagram and your Twitter are the only things that people can connect to through it. But you can most certainly put all of the other links up there. They just won't be live links. Also, a link to your lead magnet is a fantastic idea. So whatever you're offering at the top of your funnel to get people wanting to give you their email address, it's a great idea to put in there, and add something extra like a hobby or something quirky that people may resonate with and want to find out more about you. And what happens when people want to find out more? They go straight to the link on your Instagram or into your Twitter. So make sure that you've really optimized your bios on there. Make sure that your feed, particularly on Instagram, is something that you're super proud of, because more than ever, people are going to be looking at your Instagram bio than they ever have been before. It's a great way to get those other channels growing as well. So the top of the search, so let's talk about your handle. So the top of the search, make your username search friendly. Top tip is don't use your business name. Nobody knows your business name in the platform. And unless your business is really famous, because it's just a waste of SEO. So what about your profile picture? Choose a photo that shows your face, preferably smiling and framed well inside the photo, because that's the only chance that people have of seeing you, of knowing what you look like, of knowing who you are. So definitely don't put your logo in or anything like that, or a picture of your dog. Your profile or bio tips, the only clickable links on your profile are your Twitter and Instagram profile links. Optimize them and post other platforms in your bio. SEO, SEO, SEO. So things like listing topics that you're interested in, using keywords strategically to help people find you if they use the search function. Be careful not to keyword stuff, like you want to make it a really nice readable thing. And also it needs to have some personality in there, which is super important. Clubhouse etiquette, you need to be inclusive. Think about what you say. You don't know who's in the room, and don't promote your services in other people's rooms, especially if they're in your niche. So what about potential business benefits? As with all platforms, Clubhouse can be a great place to hang out and spend time, and a really good way to monetize if you can learn to get the most out of it. So a lot of times people will come to me and say, I've been using Facebook for ages and I'm not making any money from it. It's like, wow, let's rewind and start from the very, very beginning and look at how it is that you're getting visible on social media, for example. So just because you get on Clubhouse doesn't mean you're suddenly going to have this amazing experience and you're going to be flooded with business offers and all that other product selling and all that other kind of stuff. So you need to learn what it's all about. So people are spending a huge, and I mean huge, amount of time on the app. It's completely addictive, looking for conversations about topics that they're interested in, whether they want to just listen in or whether they want to speak up and get up on stage. And as a business owner or a marketer, it's an amazing opportunity to establish yourself or the brand you work with as the go-to resource and share your products, your services, or events that you have got coming up. So it's a great opportunity to share your brand story, what you offer or how you help people, and connect with customers, get product feedback, generate marketing awareness, and so much more. And as an entrepreneur, you can learn about a wide range of topics that can help you solve a problem or strengthen your business just by searching keywords. It's amazing. So as you're visiting rooms relevant to your business, you may get to know people with knowledge and experience that you need. Talk to people that you would never normally come into contact with. That's an amazing opportunity. And what about celebrities, influencers, industry leaders? They're all loving Clubhouse. Well, not all of them, because they can't all get on. And where else can you get access to these people in real time? I was in a room a couple of weeks ago, and my daughter was quite partial to, is it called Full House or Fuller House or one of those? But you guys that are my generation will remember Full House from years and years and years and years and years ago. And one of the girls, I think she was the oldest girl, was called DJ Tanner. Anyway, she was in the room that I was in. Suddenly somebody noticed that she was in there, Candace, whatever her name is, and they pull her up on stage to speak. And she's like, I'm so embarrassed. I've got 3 followers. That's all. I'm brand new to Clubhouse. I've got no idea what to do. And people were loving that because it's raw, it's real. Those of us that are on, like, we're in the first million that are on right now. So imagine how much it's, people, how many people are going to be on soon. So the sooner you can get in there, the better. So giving away free advice and getting new business. So you can create your own chat rooms or community around your areas of expertise, whether they're one-time experiments or recurring events, and start to build a community of followers. Right now, most of your audience likely isn't on Clubhouse. However, as it grows, consider using Clubhouse clubs, not as an alternative to Facebook groups, but to complement your offerings. So being seen as a leader or an expert in your field, the more time you spend on stage as a speaker and the more value you bring, the more influence will grow. Be sure the rooms that you enter are relevant to your industry or your interests, and get to know the people who frequent them. As you get more active and show up consistently, the people who host these rooms are more likely to put you up on the stage, where people in the audience will notice you. The more you're on stage, the more followers you'll attract. It's been a little tricky for me at times where I've been listening really, really late at night. I've got earpods in, I'm really enjoying it. And then someone said, oh, Kylie's in the room. Let's ask her to talk about blah, 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 blah. Or what do you think about that, Kylie? And I'm like, nothing. I'm saying nothing because I'm literally beside my husband who's snoring. I'm not going to get up there and start sharing all my stuff at midnight. So because of course, you know, people are from all over the world. So it's been quite funny at times. The good thing is that you can politely decline to speak. But I wish that you could message and I could say, I'm in bed. It's the middle of the night. I'm not going to start spouting. I'm just quietly listening. So, yeah, it will be interesting to see if they bring in some kind of a messaging part of the app. I will like that. So, oh, I can't go forward. Here we go. Having a voice. If there's something going on in your industry or in the world, you can bet there's a room on Clubhouse where people are talking about it. So join and then share and share and share. Jane says, can you join a room incognito? No, you can't. There's no little voyeuring or stalking or anything like that. You're in there, it's just your face, it's not your business, and you're just there and you're proud. So yeah, it's very, very, very authentic at this point. Getting leads and sales. When you use Clubhouse as part of your overall marketing funnel, you will be amazed at how many leads you can generate, and fast. So remember, important to link your Instagram and your Twitter accounts. Clubhouse only gives you one way to include live links in your bio, and that's by connecting to your Instagram and your Twitter. But why is this important? Well, it's going to be the #1 way that people connect with you, since Clubhouse doesn't have a way to direct message other users. Jane says, it really meant with a way to signal that you don't want to talk. No, there isn't. But usually, like, you won't get asked to come forward and speak on stage unless you're flashing your hand saying, please, can I come up and on stage? So mostly you don't get invited up. So you can just sit there, sit back and listen and learn, which is really awesome. I wouldn't at the moment change your handle, Jane, because at the moment you can only change it once ever. So just hang on to it for now and just wait and see. Yeah. And you know what? The thing about the good thing about your business name is it is a really, really good search term. So travel guru, for example. So I think for now it's a goodie. So if you want people to take that next step and connect with you off Clubhouse, you want them to let them know exactly how to do it. On your bio, you can include a link. So not a live one, but something short and easy to remember, to your latest training or offer or something. You can also include your email, let people know that's how they can arrange to have you come and speak. And finally, you can let people know exactly what to do once they've read through your bio. So click follow, click the bell to get notifications when I speak, and DM me on Instagram to chat, which are 3 cool things to say. So if you want more people in your niche to find you and follow you, then keep in mind that those first 3 lines are the most important. So you can see that I've typed in here marketing, and there's 3 people have come up because they have got marketing in their first 3 lines. So you can find like-minded people by joining clubs related to your interests or industry and listening in on conversations in chat rooms. Don't overthink it, just have fun and follow your curiosity. Stay for a few minutes in a room about VC funding or product photography or podcast growth or whatever strikes your fancy, and follow people who seem interesting. Pick a topic that you know a lot about and think others can benefit from, and set a time to host your first chat room. Develop a basic structure in advance so you know which points you want to hit, and be sure to include time for Q&A. Make it your goal for participants to walk away from the conversation thinking, wow, I really got a lot out of that. So one great example is for those of you that have been to any of our Friday morning webinars, where it's 30 minutes with Jenny Walker and I, and we do bite-sized conversations. That is the ideal type of a thing that you would do on on Clubhouse, you'd say it's a 30-minute room. If you don't want it to go on, you know, for hours and hours and hours, let people know the time that they can come in. Other people can then ping them, etc., to come in. Jenny and I, for example, would be having our usual business chat, and then you would be invited up to speak if you wanted to towards the end or whatever. So it's a really, really, really great way to you know, be sharing information. So let's look at a little summary. If you didn't receive a Clubhouse invite, go to the website and reserve your username as soon as possible. Otherwise, someone else might get it first. Clubhouse focuses on having real-time conversation through audio chat, and people want to see more engagement, value, and transparency, but they don't necessarily want the production and endless waves of content that comes with following a brand on social media. And don't promote, especially on other people's clubs, with the same niche as you. So if you're on Clubhouse, use the exclusivity, otherwise known as FOMO, to your advantage and start making those connections now. So a little reminder for those of you that haven't been here before, or not a little reminder to all of you who have been here before, but I'm telling you new and fresh for those of you that haven't, is that in the Hello Media Facebook group, which you'll find coming into the chat any moment now, that you can join the group. And then one of the first posts that we have that's pinned there is our follow and like ladder. So it's a great way to organically grow your followers. So in here, you'll say, hi, you know, you give a little spiel about yourself, tag your Facebook page, your Facebook group, or whatever, add your Instagram. People jump into the chat and they will all follow you and all your things, and then you can then follow them as well. It's a lovely way to grow organically. So get stuck into adding more value to conversations today and get stuck into Clubhouse. So let me know in the chat right now, where are you at in your Clubhouse journey? Do you feel like today you've learned something that makes you want to join, but you're an Android, so you can't yet? Do you feel like you're desperate to get in there and you just desperately need an invite, and you've got an iOS device and you want in? So let me know where you're at in the chat. And also, what's one top thing that you learned today, or one thing that was your aha moment that you felt excited to something that's added to your brain. So show the world what you stand for. Be more purpose-driven, more human, more imperfect, and more real. Yay, I will see you at 5, Samita, at Positive Passionate Businesswoman. Yay, Paul says, I'll join when I get an invite. Cool. Android for Charles, damn. Julie, Android, learning will be great till I know what to talk about. Sounds great. You're welcome, Joanna. Okay, so next week's digital marketing webinar is all about Airtable. We get asked so often about how to use Airtable better. So we just thought that if we did a bit of an overview about what you can do with Airtable, how we use it, for example, then it's a really, really great, well, it's one of my favorite platforms, and we use it every day, multiple times a day, and it's free. So if you want to be in on that Airtable webinar, make sure that you pick up your phone, that you open up your camera app and you scan the QR code, because that is Monday next week at 2:45. Also, this Friday, we have our webinar with Jenny Walk and myself, and that is 9:15 New South Wales time, and other times, obviously, for the rest of the world and the rest of the country. Okay, so again, you can just scan that QR code. So this is one little thing I just wanted to write here when it came to the time to think about getting visible. Do everything as if everyone can see it. And that's not just about Clubhouse, that's about all the things that you're putting out there, because at some point they could be seeing it, and you could be finding a great way to be sharing your expertise. So for those of you that want to grow your business, it's probably time to get a kick-ass website. So I'm running a 3-day masterclass all about how to grow your own website. Now, it's perfect for those of you that don't have a website yet at all. And it's also perfect for those of you that do have a website, but you're definitely ready to make it amazing. So this is only for people that are Shopify, if you're selling anything, or Wix, if you're wanting a brochure style of website. So get in touch with me if you want to know about that. And just let me know either in the chat, or you can, thanks, Merlin. She's put the link in there so you can click on that and find out more. And also there's a payment plan with it too. So if you want to know more, join the Hello Media Facebook group, check out the website, book your free discovery call. That's 30 minutes where we can just chat about, you know, whatever you want to know about to do with digital marketing and how we might work together. So what I'm going to do right now is stop share. Let's get a photo. And why is that, guys? Because, you know, If there's no photo, it didn't even happen. Paul, why don't you just share with us 2 weeks of quarantine for you? If you can unmute.
I'm in quarantine now, Kylie. I've been in
Oh,
quarantine.
you're still in quarantine.
So here, I came back from Singapore. I've got another couple of days to go before I leave quarantine.
And then, of course, they're in lockdown. So you'll leave quarantine for lockdown.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to get home at this point. I've got a flight. But yeah,
How's quarantine going for you?
look, it's been okay for me. I'm a friend of ours, Tony Chisholm, arrived back in New Zealand today, and he went to a different hotel, and he's not let out of his room. His food's been awful. Whereas for here, we get to walk every day. We get decent food. It's been okay. I haven't found that hard. I'd rather be at home with the kids, but it hasn't been as bad as I thought it might be.
Oh, that's good. I've heard such varying versions of it, and exactly what you just said about you and Tony's experiences. That's exactly what I'm hearing also. So some people are nailing it and loving it, and some people are just having a hatred of it. But I've got a client who actually ended up with PTSD. She had to do quarantine twice in 3 months, and she said it was just that being on her own has just been unbearable.
It's if you can find a way, it's great for work.
Yeah.
Work done in the last 2 weeks, and I've got done in the last 2 years. You just sit there and you get through hour after hour of it, and it does fill in and help. And I can also see, there's no matter who you are, I think in 14 days there's a couple of hours somewhere you look out the window and think, why can't I go out there? Although I've got a view out over the airport and the harbour. I'm in quite a nice spot. I really have been quite lucky.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, Paul, it's lovely to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm sorry I came my email late, so I joined a bit late.
Oh, no worries at all. Well, it's been very nice to see your lovely face. So, guys, thank you so much. Merlin's just put my Clubhouse handle in there too, so that's great. So, guys, I look forward to seeing you all either on a Friday for the next webinar or next Monday, where we talk about Airtable, one of my favorite platforms. And we use it for social media. We use it for everything. So I will see you guys very soon, and thanks for joining me. And if you missed the beginning of this, you'll be able to watch it on YouTube. We will share the link in the Hello Media Facebook group. So see you in there soon. And to all the positive, passionate women in business, I'll see you at 5 o'clock tonight. See you guys. Thanks.